Mic check 1, 2. Welcome everybody. It has been a while. Let me make sure my audio is to go. Alright, that's rock and rolling. Check 1, 2. It has been a while, y'all. I have been fighting with my computer, honestly, to um solve a whole bunch of problems in order to keep building. So apologies for the I don't know. I guess hiatus is a good word for it. But we're back. We're still building. Bear Bowl doesn't matter what market it's in. It's always shipping season over here at Quai Network. So we'll get these windows fired up here shortly. Hopefully you guys can hear me all right. It is a cloudy, rainy day here in Austin, Texas. But per usual, folks, check the QR code up above. Go ahead and get signed up for Kipper.money. And come say hi over here on X. And we'll hook you up with some Quai. Thanks to Kipper.money. It's free to sign up. Super easy to get involved. You just need an X account. But that's what we're doing over here. It looks like the audio is coming through. Hopefully you guys can hear that all right. I'm gonna turn it down a little bit on my end though, so I can hear myself think. Happy Wednesday, everybody. Happy Wednesday. Hope you're having a good one. Let me get another window pulled up here. Let's start over here with the SOAP dashboard as usual. Let's do screen capture. Yeah, that's the right one. Window. Oh my gosh, I got so many windows open here. Let's do this one. There it is. Way too big. We'll shrink that down a little bit. Boom. Plop it right there. Hey, that's a good aspect ratio. I like that. Welcome everybody. Here we go. What up, Agalia Rept? Welcome to the chat. As usual, folks. Just like Agalia Rept just did. Rept. Oh, I could never find your handle, man. Hold on. My X search is officially broken. There you are. There you are. We'll get you hooked up. Appreciate you swinging by and saying hi. Hope you're having a good Wednesday. This is how it works, folks. Swing by, say hi, earn some Quai. Boom. Shout out to a Galley Rept or Necto 45. What up, Dan? King Dan, the man with the mining plan. Welcome to the chat. Glad to have you. Happy Wednesday, everybody. We are back. Oh man, I was fighting with that machine up there for the last few days. It took me a while to figure out that I had a RAM issue. I couldn't tell if it was the RAM or the slot, but after about 6 hours of memtest 86, finally narrowed it down to a single RAM stick and got that lined up. But we're back in action. That machine is an absolute beast. I think we're sitting around, it's 128 plus 32. 28. We got a shit ton of RAM in that thing. It's basically a server. Bunch of storage, all the jazz. Getting ready to do a whole bunch of development over here. So I did a minor kernel upgrade, and then it shat a brick, and we had to get some RAM swapped out. Jim, what do I freaking tip, man? What do I tip? Uh, I guess we'll just tip your pin post here. I'll zoom in a little bit. Boom. That way you guys can see it. Welcome, welcome. Yep. Kraken deposits. Not really sure what's going on with those right now. The team has been working with them to try to figure out what the issue is, but yeah, they have a unique infrastructure. Not really sure what's going on over there, unfortunately. The real question is why you deposited, man. Quai's a hodl token, right? Appreciate you, Galley Rept. Thank you, thank you. I need a new sigil. You need to hook me up with a new sigil. I had to make some changes over here and we lost the sigil. What are we building today? We are working on a dashboard. Let me double check something real quick. Yeah. I think we're in a good spot with the dashboard. Let me see if I can figure out how to share my TMUX session with y'all. This has kind of been a bit of a challenge. You were providing sell liquidity. Good work, man. I'm just messing with you. So to briefly demonstrate what we're working on, y'all, we have a Quai emissions dashboard that the community has asked for. Still a work in progress. Christopher provided some good feedback. Alan provided some good feedback. We got some good feedback from the moderators earlier today as well. So this is what we're working on currently. I have a few bits of feedback I want to work in. And then we'll go from there. But to show you my current dev setup here, we've been moving out of VS Studio or VS Code into Pure Terminal. So we'll call this TMUX. Let's see if we can find this here. I think it's this one. Yep, that's it. All right. Rock and roll. Yeah. Can I make this bigger? What up, CSGO Don? I haven't seen you around in a while. We'll get you hooked up here. There you are. There you are. What the heck are you promoting, CSGO? What is this? What is this? Let's see here. What do I tip? What do I tip here? CSGO, you gotta hook me up with a tweet that I can actually tip, man. Yeah. Tag me. Quote tweet the stream. Quote tweet the stream. And we'll hook you up with some Quai. I gotta work on my development environment here for a second. We might have to kill these. Yeah. We'll kill this. And let's see if I can make this a little bigger for you guys. There you go. Okay, so we just applied a floor to the emissions dashboard. So if you, let's do this. There we go. If you look at the emissions dashboard, we were starting at 0, but we set a floor of 400 mil. So you can see the burn versus supply more clearly. We also have a chart for Qi, cumulative supply over time. We got Quai mining versus soap burn. I think Jim will be familiar with this chart. One of the cool things, I think it's cool, that I implemented here is a simulation of different mining regimes. So you can see what we're showing here is just the Quai that's been emitted. Now it doesn't take into account the actual unlock period. So when you smash 14 days, what we're doing is we're simulating every Coinbase is locked for 14 days. Okay, and what you can see here is right around this point on February 1st, the amount of Quai being unlocked under a 14-day regime surpassed the amount of Quai being burned. Under a 90-day regime, we have yet to surpass that, right? So this is a simulation. But basically, what we're saying is if every miner was setting a 90-day lock on their rewards, SOAP is drastically outpacing the emissions to circulating supply, which is pretty cool to see. 180 days pushes it out even further, and then 365. Now what you'll also notice here is the amount issued is also simulated, right? So miners earn more when they lock up for longer. But this gray dotted line here will show you the actual emissions. So you get to see that difference. So even though miners are earning more, SOAP basically front runs all those emissions. So that's super cool. We need to get more miners to lock up their tokens for longer. It'll pay off for them in the long run. So hopefully a chart like this can help demonstrate that. One of the things I absolutely have to do is change the color of actual here. CSGO's asking, what is the price of Quai? Let's check in on it. I honestly haven't looked lately. Oh, it's so bright. So bright. Oh my gosh, CoinGecko. What is your deal? Is there any work for me in Quai for India? Man, have you been by our Discord server recently? Our India community is quite large. I would ask them. There's a lot of community projects from India. We have some solid ambassadors and moderators from India, so go swing by the Discord, say hi. There's even a language channel. I think it's Hindi and Urdu. But yeah, 3.4 cents. Not bad. Obviously, these are buybacks and burns that are happening here. Massive. The team has been traveling a lot lately. They're actually out at Bitcoin Vegas right now. So I think Alan's been tweeting about it mostly. Boom. If you're in Vegas right now, make sure you swing by the Quai booth. Got some fancy Tangent wallets they're giving away. Dr. K hanging out with Sal. Yeah, the team's having a blast out there. So, good stuff, guys. We're going to keep iterating on this dashboard. I don't got time for a coin flip right now, CSGO. Apologies. That being said, somebody's building a Quai flip app. So if you're into gambling, the apps are coming, man. We also just released a new mobile wallet. If you're on iPhone, you can get your hands on the new Blip Pay. This thing's freaking dope, man. So not only do you have access to Quai and Qi and Tether on Quai's blockchain, there's on-ramps, there's off-ramps, there's swaps built into the wallet, and it also has this concept called app wallets, which is super cool. The community absolutely loves the app wallets, but you can go on Quasdac today. CS:GO, you're missing out, man. Have you even tried Quasdac? Look at all the betting markets on Quasdac, man. There you go. Go check out Quasdac prediction market. Use the Quai you earned via Kipper, saying hi on these streams, and hanging out with the community. And go play some bets, man. There's a bunch of them up there. That's super cool. So go check that out. There's also Quai Flip. We were talking to somebody yesterday about Quai Flip. So there's a coin flip app coming, a gambling app coming to Quai Network. So heads or tails, your call. There you go, man. There you go, man. You get all the Quai you need to start betting. Get after it, man. Reply to you, Quai Flip, Quasdac. I need you to make a post, CS:GO. I can't tip you. You know what? Screw it. I'll tip this. There you go. When you repost like this, like I can't tip it because then I'm tipping myself. I'm tipping my post, not your post. Does that make sense? But here, we'll hook you up. We'll hook you up. Quai Flip and Quasdac. There you go, man. Get after it. Get after it. All right, we gotta make some changes here. Let's bubble this back up. Where is this thing? There it is. Okay, on the what chart is this? What chart is this? Mining issuance. Since SOAP charts, we need to change the color of the, what is that? Cumulative Quai mined actual to green or something that stands out when it overlaps the other lines. Right now it's gray and hard to see. Now, we'll let it cook on that. There's been a lot of discussion in the community about Claude versus Codex, and it might be worth. Let me walk you guys through kind of like what I got set up here. Wow, it was already done. Already done. God, so that was fast. That was like really fast. Let me show you guys. Boom. It's green now. Now when we do 90 days, there's that green line. You can see it. Beautiful. Beautiful. Already crossing one off here. Done. Okay. Next thing we need to do is latest events. Rename. We need to adjust this latest events information here. We should probably rename it too. So let's go back here. Okay. We also need to refactor latest events. We should call it something more important, like recent catalysts or network milestones. Make it a drop down. Uh, default to collapsed. And give it a highlight or color that makes it seem more important. Whatever. We'll see what that cooks up. All right. 6. Here we go. There you go, CS:GO. Welcome back, man. Hope your exams went well. Hopefully you didn't lose too much money gambling. You sound like an addict, man. Oh, crypto will do that to you. Crypto will do that to you. Oh, look at it. Already done. Already done. Recent catalysts. Boom. Boom. 2 protocol changes reshaping Quai's emissions and eventual supply. Later, skater. Peace out, CS:GO. Let me bug somebody in our Discord real quick. Let me ping somebody. If you're still up, swing by the live stream and I'll walk through my current AI coding setup. Yeah, alright. Alright, so nice. It's already looking good. Already looking good. We just need an overall like UI overhaul on this thing right now, but we probably need to yeah. Okay, I'll do some easy ones real quick. Let's do some easy ones. Okay, now the KPIs at the top of the page could use some visual enhancements, perhaps some colors or highlighting based on relevance, importance. If so, those colors should align with the charts on the page. We'll just let it cook, man. Just let it cook. So a lot of people have been complaining about Claude's performance lately, and I was one of them. 1000%. Absolutely. I was incredibly frustrated with the lack of work I could actually get done in a week, 2-week period. It was not ideal, and I just wrecked my freaking chapstick. There, that'll have to do. Ugh. Um, However, what I learned is that when I was using VS Code, I was effectively just wasting tokens, frankly. VS Code wasn't really good at showing me how much context I was using. And so it wasn't really clear when I needed to kind of like clean up my session here. But I also noticed that it was like effectively bringing in more context than it actually needed. So I switched to CLI, and not only did I notice it was a lot faster, but I was able to like create my own status bar here that shows me exactly how much context I'm using on every single prompt, which is actually like really useful, honestly. And so you see here, like I'm only using 10% of Opus's, 1 million token context here, which is awesome. Um, Now, what I also notice is like I usually get like major features rolled out or like get to like major milestones and stopping points long before I reach like 50% context. And maybe that's just me and the projects that I'm building, but what I can do is just clear my session whenever I get to those milestones and tell Claude in the next session, hey, go read all the code to get the context you need to do this next thing that I want you to do. And it's super efficient and it's really fast at doing that. So I'm not going back to Visual Studio anytime soon. Um, as you can see, it says it's already done with that bit of work there. So I'm going to jump back over here and show you guys what this looks like. Boom, boom. We got some colors on the KPIs. Super cool. Um, yeah. So, boom, 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 boom. Cool. Next thing I want to do is we want to fix these descriptions inside the chart. The descriptions and chart titles are a little redundant. And these descriptions they don't really like stand out, right? We want better descriptions and titles in here. So we'll work on that next. Alright. Now the chart titles are a little redundant. There's effectively 2 titles per chart. We should pick one format for the title and go with it. Additionally, the chart descriptions blend into the background more than I like. The descriptions should pop and encourage users to read them. So as you can see, I'm like not being very prescriptive with Claude right now, and it's fucking cooking. So the other thing people have complained about is like, as you start to use more context, Claude starts to hallucinate a little more. I don't know if I've experienced that. What I have experienced is when I get close to like 50% or more in terms of context usage, Claude definitely makes more mistakes or like forgets things. So it's a little, what would I say? It's a little, it doesn't do the whole job. It does like 90% of what you asked it to. And you have to follow up with that 10% or 20%. But all those problems come when you start using more context probably than you actually need. So now, to be clear, like the scope of the requests that I'm making here are pretty narrow, right? I'm not telling it to build an entire app from scratch right now, which I have done in the past, and it is like pretty capable at doing that. But in order to be successful doing that, you need to give it a well thought out plan, right? Like if it doesn't have a well thought out plan, like it's not gonna be that great at it. Hey Ebo, welcome back, man. Let's see here. I'm overlapping the chat a little bit. That's not what I want. Let's try this one. Should you drink the Red Bull right now? Dude, let's drink some energy drinks in solidarity. you gotta give me some feet. I can't choose red or blue. Which one should I drink? What should I drink? Should I drink red or blue? Let me know. I'm gonna go grab it right now. Yeah, I'll show you both of them. Hold on. I also have white and green, but I'm only gonna bring out red and blue. Yeah. I stopped drinking Red Bull because of the sodium citrate. That shit's not that good for you. So I got yeah. Yeah, I don't like the sodium citrate, man. That shit's like poison. We got we got two ghost energy drinks here. Oh, wrong way. One is red, one is blue. Oh, you're drinking white? Okay. We're gonna go blue today. Um and yeah, man, so like plan. You definitely want to like create like a well thought out plan. Oh man, I missed it. Too late. Oh, that's tasty. But yeah, dude, screw Red Bull. They got sodium citrate in Red Bull. This shit's nasty. It's not good for you. And when you mix it with alcohol, it creates rat poison. Yeesh. All right. So let's see here. We just did two coordinated changes, single chart title, remove redundant H2s on the home page. Description contrast. All right, that looks much better. We'll bring this up for you guys to see. Yeah, cat's on one today. She feels like she's being forgotten about. All right, boom. So that looks way better. The descriptions definitely pop here. That looks way better. Okay, so we nailed that. We need to do apply the same to all these charts. So let's go back here. Apply the same changes to all pages. Boom, boom, boom. So I'll show you guys something else. So like I'm using Tmux here in Linux, and I effectively have two terminals that I can work with here. You know, and in in VS Code, you'd be able to like look at your actual code, right? So now what do is I just basically open up nvim, in if I could spell it, and I can look at my code here. This isn't an ideal view, so I'm going to switch this to here. That's not ideal either, so I'm going to switch it again here. That's a little better. Yeah, I like that one. So I can go down in here, read the package.json, um, and nvim is just as capable of VS Code, right? You can see here it's actually showing me the latest versions of my dependencies that I've pulled in. I could go back here and pull up like an actual, here's a SQL file. I can page through this, read the SQL, it's highlighted. Um, yeah, it's just as good as VS Code. It even has like autocomplete if I actually want to type in here, but like let's be honest, we don't write code anymore. So then I go back here and I say yes, proceed, right? And I'm watching my server run up here in in this terminal. So npm run dev, running the server, right? Server's ready to rock and roll. Get some browser errors that, frankly don't matter right now. And then I can go over here and show you guys what the browser actually looks like. So, not bad. Not bad. It is updating these pages as we speak. We're gonna drop some of these charts. Um, I want a better SOAP algorithm comparison chart. This one's all right. Shows you, if we look a year back, we were ProgPal mined, and then as soon as we launched SOAP, the amount of ProgPal work shares just decreased to nothing. At the start of Project SOAP, it was even shares across all three algorithms, and then we basically consumed almost all of Ravencoin's hash rate. So we adjusted that, and now ProgPal isn't earning as many work shares as SHA and Script. But what's important to note that we're not showing here is that Kapow still earns block rewards, right? So what I'm wondering is if we can show the amount of Quai earned per algorithm and not just the percentage of work shares. We might need to index some more data for that. And I'm also noticing when I'm looking at a year's worth of data, these two charts break. So we'll work on that next. I also have a history page, which is alright. This is a lot more detail. Like if I go 1 year on this chart, not the easiest charts to read, but if you know how to read charts, you should be alright. Just, there's two different y-axes here, okay? So we have not burned more Quai than we've actually emitted, but if you look at the y-axis here, you can see the difference there. We also have Quai and Chi issued per day, Quai issued versus SOAP burn per day, net issuance, SOAP cumulative burn, blocks won by token. This chart's kind of useless right now because there's not a lot of Chi winners. And this exchange rate chart is also not ideal, but that'll be more important later. So we'll work through all of that. Ebo, any questions about how I'm using Claude right now? Because we were having a chat in Discord, and basically, you're saying you're much more satisfied with Codex's ability to debug. And you're definitely not the only one. You are not the only one who's super satisfied with Codex. What I will say is I haven't had to debug anything Claude has created. It's created the wrong thing. It's not created exactly what I wanted it to create, but it's never built something that doesn't work. I'll just say that. Okay, that's good. Alright, so it's done with that. Let's go peek. Oh man, I keep switching to the wrong window here. Evo says I've had Claude create some pretty ass stuff. Okay. Evo says, to be honest, Codex has much more clear thinking, especially when it comes to debugging and finishing features. Okay. I am really curious. It would be really cool to watch you work with Codex. I don't know if it's the way I create the context with Claude or how I use agents. But I've honestly I've never had issues with Claude creating ass stuff or things that just don't work. But I need a. Okay, yeah, that's looking better. And let's check these charts. There's no chart descriptions here. And live is good too. Okay. Let's go back home. You're gonna test between both this week. So okay, I don't know. Let's go to agency agents. I don't know how. Like you're not on Linux, right? So I don't know how you would install this for Claude. Um, but this, I always use agency agents for everything that I do. And so, like when I was starting this dashboard project, right, I used the backend architect to build out the indexing service to generate all this data. And then I used the front end developer to like create the dashboard. And then I even told it like, hey, go like find some other agents to like, audit what you just did and propose a plan to like fix it or whatever. System prompts are definitely a superpower. Definitely a superpower. So, I'll just like, you know what I'll do? I'll just demonstrate that right now. Let's just look at this real quick. So, what I'll do is I'll go back into Claude here and I'll say, okay, the dashboard is looking pretty good, but I believe it could really benefit from a UI overhaul to increase the UX to best in class, a more modern look that's much easier to consume and engage with. Activate front-end developer to review the entire project and propose a plan to overhaul the UI UX. Right? And so like while I'm doing this, I'm keeping my eye on this context window here. Now at 14%, I have no problem pivoting to like a brand new feature. Right? If I was close to like 50% or even like probably north of 30%, I would have done clear, start a new session. Not only am I saving my API tokens, but I'm keeping Claude like hyper focused, and not giving it an opportunity to get a little overwhelmed, right? It's definitely well aware of how many tokens it has, and when it starts to run out of tokens, it will rush things. So that's a pro tip over there. Meanwhile, what am I looking at here? Um, we got a README. What else do we got? We'll sit on this README for now. So here you can see it's activated the front end developer and it's running that in the background. I can tell it to activate like as many agents as I want, clearly. All this is probably common sense to you at this point, Ebo. Oh, holy shit, I'm not seeing the X chats for some reason. Dan.Quai says CLI is the way to go. Any other chat interface has token issues. Yeah, much better context in the terminal. Michele, welcome Michele, glad to have you here. Let me hook you up with some Quai. Michele, keep it going, man. Keep it going. Yeah, so Obsidian, I need I need more I'd like I've seen your screenshots. I have no idea what Obsidian is. I'll be honest. I have no clue what Obsidian is. Can you drop a link? Can you link it? Can you link it? Here, I'm just gonna do a search. Looks like Claude is still cooking here. Yeah. Alright, so let me do a search for Obsidian. What is Obsidian? Obsidian MD. Are you talking about Are you talking about this? Oh yeah, you can't drop links in Twitch. Oh, this is I know what Obsidian is. I've heard of this. It's like a note-taking app, effectively. Right. Dude, I would love a video that explains how you use Obsidian with your AI to build. Is this open source? I don't see a GitHub link. You know what I did, man? Like a long time ago, I looked into personal knowledge management. And what I came across is bullet journaling. At the end of the day, I needed to use my paper and pen, man. I don't like I could not find I no okay, so this is free, but I can't sync notes without spending any money. So like Obsidian, I came across Obsidian when I was looking into personal knowledge management, but I ended up going with bullet journaling. If you haven't heard of bullet journaling, I'm beginning to swear by it. It's great. Everybody should journal. Everybody should journal. In the military, a piece of paper and a pen was mandatory items. It was an inspectable item, which means that as an NCO, I could ask any private where their paper and pencil was, and if they didn't have it, I can make them do push-ups. It's so important. It's so important to be able to take notes anywhere you're at, everywhere you go. So, in the military, obviously there was like a framework for all those notes, but in the civilian world, there's no real good framework. So, bullet journaling though is pretty powerful. I highly recommend it. It's not prescriptive at all, but it gives you like a really good foundation to kind of like build your own framework. All right, so we are activating the front end developer to like completely overhaul this UI. Okay. I literally just told it build a plan. Right? The front end developer returned a prioritized four-phase plan. Card surface is the weakest link. Flat tile, no hierarchy, doesn't separate from background. Per page header blocks, waste. Top nav are stacked redundantly. Chart cards are 60% chrome, 40% data on the mining grid. Recharts defaults are showing through. Tooltips, legend, grid lines, no animations. No motion anywhere. Loading states are all the same gray pulse. Dashboard live legacy. So phase one, surface refresh, card redesign, proper per page, headers, custom shared, chart tooltip, chart legend, animation on chart mount, shimmer mock chart, loading states. Phase two, KPI bento, tactile motion, place hero strip, la 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 la. Number tickers on KPI updates, staggered fade in. Phase 3, density and interactivity. Phase 4, component library decision. Don't adopt ShadCN yet. Variable theming is already working. ShadCN should replace it. Only when 3+ components need them. when modal combo box arrive. Um, uh, let's do phase 1 through 3. That's all I'm gonna tell it. Okay. So, uh, let's just let it cook. Can I write cursive? Yes, but I don't. I can write cursive, but I do not write cursive. I hear they don't even teach it in school anymore. That's what I hear. So, there's that. Let's see here. What else can we do while this thing cooks? One of the other things I started to do. Can I read cursive? Yes, I can read cursive. If it's written legibly, that's the problem with cursive. It's most of it's not written legibly. Right? How can you read the Declaration of Independence if you can't read cursive? Yeah, good question. Um, what I wanted to show you guys eventually, I don't know if it's ready yet. Let me check on it. Yeah, okay, I'll show you guys this. So, yeah, all right. Excuse me. One of the other things I was doing is getting ready to run like 30 different Linux distributions. Um, so let's do this is Ubuntu. Nope, that is not what I wanted. That's not what I wanted. Let's delete. Yes, delete. There we go. Okay. Don't know what the heck that is. Let's try this. Ubuntu. So, I am also getting set up to run a bunch of different virtual machines. And the reason why is twofold. First of all, everybody wants to know what the best distribution is. Well, oh, nice. Dan.Quai's now got his own image generator running on a 3080. Good work, man. Good work. Anywho, boom. This is Ubuntu. Let me double check real quick. Can you guys even see this? Yeah, you can. So this is a virtual machine running on another machine. Yeah, not super. I just got it installed. We won't enable location services. We won't share any data. Let's go dark. There we go. And we'll go olive. There we go. Finish. Boom. So we got Ubuntu running. We also have Fedora running as well. Let me try this. Yeah, alright. So we'll get, and I'll actually show you guys what this looks like. So that's Ubuntu. Let's do Fedora. That is not what I want. Why do I keep doing that? Let's do this. Screen capture. Fedora. Let's go. Fedora. Alright, so I'll show you guys what this looks like when I actually boot it up here. Boop. Boop. There we go. Nope. Nope. Where'd Fedora go? There it is. Haha. Alright, so we're going to fire up this virtual machine. It'll boot up here. Start the Fedora workstation. Do I even? Oh, I forgot to get rid of this disk. Alright, hold on. We'll force it off. Yep, shut down. We gotta remove the installation media. And go back to boot options. All right, that's good to go. All right, now we're booting Fedora. I think. Is it working? Yeah, it's working. Fedora just takes a while. It's slow as hell. Well, hopefully we'll see that when it boots up. Meanwhile, is the mission dashboard coming along? Looks like it is. No, Fedora is freaking borked right now. Why is Fedora so broken? Let's force off. Yes. Alright. Run. There we go. There we go. Alright, the BIOS was all messed up. So, we'll be able to test out a variety of Linux systems here. You can see Fedora, what it looks like when it first pops up. I also got Arc, however you want to say it. Pop OS. Oh, we're not even done installing here. English US. No locations. No automatic reporting. We'll do Chicago. Can I search Austin, Texas? Yeah, we'll do that. Next. Enable third-party repositories. Next. Yeah. Next. Choose a password. Not a really hard one. Next. All done. Start using Fedora. So we got Fedora here. It is what it is. The virtual CPU is like maxing out. Skip the tour. But, you know, like I said, we also have Mint OS that we gotta install. I might like walk you guys through that at some point. Internet's working. Rock and roll. But yeah, so we're gonna use all these virtual machines for a bunch of new development, a bunch of new building that we got planned. So keep your eyes peeled for that. Let's see here. What else are we doing? Oh, let's get back to Tmux real quick. So where is? There it is. It's still cooking. It's implementing phase 1, surface refresh and quick wins. Looks like it's updating on the fly. So let's go back here and bring this up. Do a hard refresh on this dashboard. It's looking alright. It's looking alright. What happens when I reset the zoom here? Boom. Got some animations going. Nice. Yeah, that's a little easier to actually read. But, Claude's cooking, guys. Claude's cooking. So, we've been sitting here now for almost 10 minutes. While I'm showing off virtual machines in the background. We did, like I said, we did get Mint OS downloaded here. Should I try installing Mint OS? What do you guys think? 6. Oh, this is starting to update. Whoa, whoa, whoa. I just flashbanged myself there. Oh yeah, yeah, it's cooking. All right, let's see if I can actually show you guys installing installing a new Linux operating system here. Let me power off Fedora and Ubuntu. Power off. Power off. All right. So, what do I got here? Let's see if I can show you guys this. We'll go. Do I have the? I don't have the distros moved over. Hold on. Let's exit. Downloads. Alice. Negative L. All.iso. Yeah. So we want to. Well, let's see if I can show you guys something. Let's do create a new virtual machine. Is that the dialog I want? We gotta delete this, remove, yes, Ubuntu, remove, we don't want to show that anymore. Alright, let's try to show you guys how I create a virtual machine. New VM. Is that literally what it is? Yeah, there it is. Alright, dope. Alright, so we're gonna expand this a little bit and show you guys what I got going on here. So, think on this page. So basically, I created a new virtual machine by using the install media. If I browse ISOs, I see Arch Linux, Fedora, Ubuntu. I don't know if you guys can see that. Is that like yet another window that I can't show you guys? Yep, another freaking window. But it looks like I'm missing Alpine Linux to SCP to machine 2. So we gotta get Alpine Linux moved over there. We also need to get Linux Mint to machine 2. And Pop OS. Those are the ones I'm missing. Alright, well, that's a much bigger image. So we'll let that one cook. Meanwhile, Ebo says, please check out the camel content on Hearty Gallery. Alright. Standby. Let's bring this up. Nope. What I need to do is bring this back. Boop, boop. Hearty Gallery. Camel content. Camel content. You mean on X? Oh, okay. Alright, let's check it out. No worries, man. Oh, this tweet? Yeah, man. This one made this one got into top tip content on Kipper. Congrats. Man, like when more people figure out that they can advertise to all the Quai maxis using Kipper, like, it's game over. Right? Like, if you want everybody in Quai to see your tweet, just use a different account to, like, tip your content to get it in the top 3. And then boom, everybody using Kipper is gonna see your tweet. So, maybe a little like hack for those of you out there in the Quai network ecosystem. If you want the team to see your tweets, get somebody to tip it. Tip it big, it'll show up at the top. I'll have to scroll past it every time I open up X. But yeah, no, this is a good one, man. I like that. Maybe you need to create like a camel PFP NFT collection. Not bad. Not bad. Let's see emissions action. It's coming along. But Claude now is just running on its own, doing like a 3-phase UI overhaul. So while that runs, let's get Pop OS copied over. Yeah, there we go. Looks like Pop OS is now. It's not even the big one. Ubuntu is the biggest image. Who would have thought? Who would have thought? Let's see here. We need to move Alpine Linux to mount VMs ISOs. Move Linux Mint, mount VMs ISOs, and move Pop OS to mount VMs ISOs. Boom. Alright guys, what should I install next? Should I install Linux Mint or Pop OS? Alpine and Arch are just like terminal installs. That's not very fun to watch. But let me know. Let me know what you want. What should I install here? What up, Wolf? Alright, peace out, Ebo. What up, Wolf? Welcome to the stream, man. Glad to have you. Let me guess. You still have not tweeted anything new that I can tip. I've been gone for like a week. Nope. Still nothing. Come on, Wolf. Help a brother out, man. Help a brother out. Alright, let's see here. This thing is still cooking, I think. Yep. Yeah, that's still cooking. So, Pop OS. All right, let's install Pop OS. Let's do it. Let's do it. All right, so create a new virtual machine. I'm gonna select Pop OS. We're gonna choose that volume. Pop OS. I don't even know what version is this. This is version 24. Nice. We're gonna give it 2 CPUs and 4 gigs of RAM. We're going to create our own disk image for it here. Call it Pop OS 24. We'll give it 20 gigs. Why not? Choose volume. Forward. This is Pop OS 24. I gotta customize this configuration before we install. And then this dialog's gonna die. So in the background here, I'm just setting the BIOS to UEFI. Everything else looks good to go. I'm gonna hit apply. Let's smash begin installation. And we gotta get this what are we doing here? No. Okay. We'll just kill that. Alright, Pop OS. Coming up. So we close this. Remove. Yes. Let's get Pop OS in here. Screen capture. Pop OS. I have never installed Pop OS. I think this is what Dr. K uses, actually. So here we go. Pop OS firing up over here. Looks like it's thinking. Where are we? Oh, we got a mouse. It's humming. I should really give these virtual machines more resources. I have more resources to give them, but... Are you working? I have like 12 cores. I could give them more than just 2. Hey, we got a background. Can you guys see that? Yeah. Wolf says he also has not seen Pop OS. Oh, I heard a sound. Oh! Oh, we got some graphics card issues down here. Alright, so English, United States, select English, US, default keyboard, select. We're gonna do a clean install. Yep. Select a drive. Erase uninstall. Alright, we'll give ourselves a username. Boom. Install. No, I'm not going to encrypt the drive. FYI, I'm installing these VMs on an encrypted drive already, so don't encrypt. Get double encryption. Really slow these things down. But this is Pop OS. Man, this thing is like beating up its CPUs. I should really give these virtual machines more CPUs. Especially if I'm only going to run one at a time here. Meanwhile, Claude says, take a look at the running dashboard before moving on to phase 2. Let's pull it up. Why not? Oh, let's go back and back. There we go. Refresh. I probably need to restart the dev server here. Here we go. All right. Everything seems to be working. Looking good. Everything seems to be working. History. That's definitely a little faster. And Qi launch. Soap launch. Yeah, it's rendering. Alright. Boom. Recent catalyst. Everything still works. So let's get back to Pop OS here. And I will tell Claude the visual delta. So what did it do? It basically fixed the CSS, soft shimmer on keyframes, top nav is collapsed. Yep. Color dotted rows. Let's take a look at these. Yeah, that doesn't look bad. Yeah, yeah, it looks good. We got better legends. Yeah. Okay. The charts definitely look a little better. So do those tooltips. Let's go to history. We got some interesting charts here. Doesn't look like we touched the history page. Yeah. Alright, we'll have to have Claude review that. What up, Jodo? Welcome to the chat. Let me get you hooked up with a tip. Good sir. No, it is not live yet. Hoping it will be soon though. We got a lot of quirks to work out. Let me get you hooked up with some Quai, man. Thanks for saying hi in chat, guys. Swing by the chat if you're hanging out. Come say hi. You earn some free Quai just for doing so. Unfortunately, everybody who is saying hi in chat doesn't tweet. I can't tip you if you don't tweet. There we go. April 3rd, Joe Doe tweeted. We got you hooked up, Joe Doe. Appreciate it. Thanks for saying hi. Appreciate the feedback on the dashboard here. We're working through it. We got a UI overhaul coming through, but it doesn't look like it fully applied. So we're gonna go back to Tmux over here. Doesn't look like all the changes were applied across all pages and charts. So we'll let it cook on that. I'll be right back. I need a bathroom break. Alright. Yeah, Claude said, you're right, the agent admitted it skipped the history grid and the V1 charts on live. Let me audit what's still on old patterns. Significant gap. The agent only treated the 10 flagship charts on home mining live and skipped 8 history charts, 6 V1 charts, and it's now dispatching a focused finisher pass. Alright, cool. How's Pop OS doing? Ooh, it's done. Are we ready to Are we ready to reboot into Pop OS? Let's see here. Let's do it. Restart device. Alright, come here. Pop OS. Man, this thing, I would say like, oh, that's not bad looking. That's not bad looking. I don't even know what display manager this is. This looks like it might be STDM. I wonder. Ah, man, this thing is so slow. I bet you this is QT. That's why it's so freaking slow. We don't need a screen reader.
Screen reader on.
No, we don't want a screen reader. We don't need Wi-Fi. Sure, English, US. Yep, yep. Austin, Texas? Nope. Chicago. Oh, we can choose a theme. Let's go with Mocha Dark. Why not? We'll do bottom panel. And next, workspaces. Yeah, we got workspaces. Shift super. Oh, does tiling out of the box? Okay. All right, this is Pop OS, guys. Let's. What happened? Oh, we got tiling. Ooh. Alright. Boom. Alright, it's got internet. That's Pop OS, yo. It's cute, I guess. Applications, system. I don't want to. How do I exit? There we go. Alright. Cool, I guess. That's Pop OS. Is there anything you guys want to see? I don't really know what I'm doing here. Let's learn something about Pop OS real quick. Let's go here. And let's bust this back up. What is Pop OS? Oh, it's built by System 76. That's right. Now with Cosmic. What is Cosmic? Yeah, it looks alright. I also have Mint. I can fire up a Mint install real quick. The beautiful thing about Mint is it comes with cinnamon, and cinnamon is just like cinnamon's great. Not only does it taste good, it's I don't know what Cosmic is. Let's Pop OS. I don't know what Cosmic is. Alright, let's watch this real quick. I don't know anything about Pop OS. All I know is it's the default with System 76. Ooh, you can snap windows. You can launch apps. Super cool. You can customize panels. You have built-in tiling. Okay. Okay, so I might actually like do a video on why it took me so long to adopt a tiling window manager. Yeah. Anywho, I guess Cosmic. Like, what is Cosmic? Like, Pop OS. What is Cosmic? I guess that's their window manager. Yeah, it's a desktop environment. Okay. So System 76, just so you guys know, System 76 is great. Love System 76. System 76 builds computers um, made to run Linux, right? Now, like these days, Linux can run on almost any freaking computer out there. Like, hands down, you will be really pressed to find a computer that Linux cannot run on. It used to be that only like the most modern hardware in the world was not supported by Linux, but that is not the case anymore. Um, the way things are built today, like everything's pretty compatible with everything, so not really an issue. That being said, System 76, like laptops, still have some like quirky hardware and firmware that honestly the manufacturers like don't think about supporting Linux with. So laptops, you still might run into a few like issues with laptops on like certain things, right? Like your keyboard LEDs, for example. Might be hard to program your keyboard LEDs in Linux, right? You'll need like special driver software for that. So System 76, like their whole shtick here is they build systems um, that are great for running Linux on, right? And they ship with Linux installed. And it looks like they built their own Linux distribution, so their systems work out of the box with it. And Pop OS is their Linux distribution. And then on top of that, it looks like they built their own window manager called Cosmic, right? Um, Linux Mint, on the other hand, I think it's Linux Mint, yeah. They, um, without creating their own freaking hardware, uh, kind of took this approach a while back with a distribution and a desktop environment that was just beautiful and worked great out of the box, right? So, um, Cinnamon is their desktop environment. Cinnamon is fucking amazing. It's awesome. I love Cinnamon. That being said, I honestly haven't used it that much. So, I started using it a long time ago when it first came out, and I fell in love with it. Um, but then the development of it like slowed down significantly. There was a bunch of updates with Python, and it took the developers of Cinnamon a really long time to kind of like refactor it for modern Python. And so I ended up going back to using XFCE. XFCE also amazing desktop environment, not as cool as Cinnamon, but um, you know, much older, much more mature desktop environment. That being said, things are changing again, where like basically the library that draws all the windows and displays that draws things appropriately on your monitor, be it Xorg or X11 or Xfree, depending on your preferred nomenclature, that is starting to get fairly deprecated. And so people are finally starting to move to a whole new library for drawing windows, or just like displaying things on a monitor called Wayland. I think Cinnamon supports Wayland now, or has, good enough support for Wayland. But XFCE was definitely starting to break down for me with some of the latest NVIDIA drivers. Under the hood, Cinnamon keyboard handling. So here it says, um, under the hood, Cinnamon keyboard handling relied on libgnome keyboard and only worked in Xorg. This meant that Cinnamon under Wayland could only be used with an English layout. This new support is fully compatible with Wayland for both traditional layouts and the iBus input methods. Awesome. So Cinnamon is making some really good progress in supporting Wayland, which is the new fundamental library for drawing things on a monitor in Linux, right? Um, I dove down this rabbit hole multiple times, but when you build via committee, sometimes changes take a long time, and so it took me a really long time to commit to pivoting my workstation, which is Gentoo with XFCE on Xorg, over to Wayland. But we made that pivot. But regardless, peace out, Dan. Let's go. Let's go install. Actually, let's check in on the dashboard. Where's the dashboard at right now? Let's go back over to mining. Yeah, this is better. That's better. And then history. Yeah, that's better. Okay. And then we'll install Cinnamon. Screw it. Why not? Okay. Yeah, still working through phase one on this overhaul here. So while that cooks, we'll go ahead and shut down Pop OS and we'll get Linux Mint installed. We'll check that out. All right. Shut down. Boom. Okie dokie. Cool. And we'll go back here and delete this. Yes. All right, phase one is now complete. Start phase two. I said 22. Hopefully it understands me. Yeah, okay. All right. Okay, that's good to go. Let me get Linux Mint fired up over here in the background. 4. We're going to create a new one, install for media, browse, ISOs, refresh. Let's do Linux Mint 22.3 Cinnamon. Let's do generic Linux 2024. Alright, we're going to give this thing 4 CPUs. And yeah, that'll be fine. Forward. Let's do disks. We'll call it Mint. What is this? This is 22. Linux Mint 22. Yeah, finish. Choose volume. Yada yada. Linux Mint 22. Customize before install. And we'll select a UEFI BIOS. Apply. Begin install. All right. Let's go back here and show you guys the Linux Mint install. All right. Got the installer fired up. Drop that back and let's install 64-bit Linux Mint. Oh yeah, I should give all these virtual machines 4 CPUs, honestly. Apply. Yeah. Linux Mint. That was quick. Gosh dang, I should be giving them 4 CPUs. Do you guys see this? Yeah, you do. Pretty cool. I think I just double click this, right? Looks like it. Apply. And we'll give Ubuntu 4 CPUs too. There we go. English. Continue. English. Continue. Install multimedia codecs. Erase disk. Install now. Da, 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 da. Yep. Continue. We are in Chicago. Not really, but nah. And continue. I like how all these distributions are giving you an option to encrypt some of your storage now. That is just beautiful. Just beautiful. Run. Oh, nice. You can set you up with wine and VirtualBox. And all that's cooking. So we'll let that run in the background. We'll check back in on Claude. Looks like it's still humming through phase 2. It's spent about 6 minutes on it so far. This is pretty good looking dashboard, if I do say so myself. Yeah, yeah, it's the phase 2 is looking great. Oh yeah. Yeah, that's beautiful. All right. Phase 2. Nice. Alright. I was like, why is it so quiet in here? It's because I killed the music. Oh, hell yeah, guys. More happening at Bitcoin Vegas. Let's check it out. Let's check it out. What's going on in Bitcoin Vegas? Nice. Definitely the Quai Network booth. Good eye, Kishore. Good eye. Let's snag another tweet here. Nice, nice, nice. Let's go here. We'll check this out in a second. Let's go. All right, let's check this out, y'all. What is this?
I want to get. So we're here at Bitcoin Vegas. Just gonna do a demo here of Blip. One of the cool new features is that you can request money. So if I hit a request and I want to say request $10, and I want to get that from Alan, I can send him a request link. And then when he opens that, if he has Blip, he can pay me in Quai or USDT on Quai in Blip, or he has the option, if he doesn't have Blip, to actually pay me using Stripe and a debit card. So I asked him to send bucks. He hit send.
Already sent. It's too fast.
Yeah. And then there it is.
And go check out the requests on your homepage or your profile page.
And we can see that I requested and he paid me.
Boom.
There you go.
That's super cool.
So we're here at Bitcoin Vegas.
That's
Just gonna do
super
a demo
cool.
here of Blip.
Uh, seriously, Jelly. Can't wait for Android. Quai is changing the game again, this time on mobile with Blip Pay. Just don't stop cooking, y'all. What effort am I running Claude Code on? I'm running it on high. And I believe we can actually see that. Right here on high. One of the things, if you guys didn't know, you can actually configure your status line. Um, so I can like hit this here and actually like tell Claude what kind of status line that I want, right? So I can say status line, give me a status line that shows model, context usage in a progress bar with percentage and effort level on the right. And it'll actually cook that. next chance it gets. Looks like we got new primitives landing in phase 2 of our UI here for the dashboard. Um, and it's setting up the status line without any context. So I gotta work through that prompt. But you can set your status line down here to be anything you want it to be, which is pretty cool. So, to no. Um, we'll skip that one and we'll let it cook on this one. But we'll see here. I actually edit my status line. Are you guys seeing this? Let me double check. Yep, you're seeing this. So if I go back here, it's reading, it's updating. It's also showing me the directory it's running in, which is kind of nice. Let me expand this a little bit. Let's drag this over to there. And I might have to refresh this. So let's do quit. Let's do Claude resume. There. Okay, that looks like trash. Status line. I need you to fix the status line. Looks like the terminal kitty plus tmux in CSH isn't rendering properly. So we'll let that honk. And go back to the tunes. There we go. Boom. Got our new status line here. Boom. Status line. Can you add the current working directory to the status line? I'm just churning tokens. Boom. That's a little too long. Can we use shorter strings? Where able for the status line, it's a little too long. Boom. That's better. I like that. Alright, so now we need to check in on our dashboard. It definitely made some major updates here, so let's hard refresh this. I will restart the server. Looking good. Looking good. I like it. Got the little extra KPI data up here. Nice. History. Rendering. Beautiful. Beautiful. Alright. Cool. So phase 2 done. Let's move on to phase 3. Alright. Let's move on to phase. Alright. Let's audit our phase 2 work to ensure everything was completed and working. Then move on to phase 3. Easy enough, guys. Easy enough. Yes. Meanwhile, what's Mint up to? Installation complete. I like it. Restart now. Remove the installation medium, then press enter. Nice, we're in. There we go. Let's go. Desktop colors. Let's try changing our desktop colors. We'll go dark greeny. There we go. Drive manager, update manager. Let's go to update manager. Probably need to update, right? Okay. Apply the update. Installing packages. That was easy. A lot of updates. A lot of updates. If you noticed, these are a bunch of Ubuntu packages. So Mint is based on Ubuntu. Let's switch to a local mirror so we get faster downloads. Sure. Why not? Install updates. There we go. And the password again. Installing packages. Easy enough. Easy enough. What's Claude up to? Alright. Phase 2 audit results. All deliverables present. One optional gap. Live Hero has no sparkline. Okay, that's fine. Let's skip and begin phase 3. Why are you ruining your chair? Here, come hang out over here. Kitty cat. Wolf says there's a pure Debian version of Linux Mint. Nice. I did not know that. Version 22 is Xena. Nice. Nice. Debian is fucking old school, guys. Old school. Um, you know, generally speaking, I'd say I'm like pretty freaking opinionated when it comes to Linux. But all of this stems from like honestly being a Gentoo user since I was like 13 years old. Um, so one thing to keep in mind is Gentoo is a source-based distribution, which means everything you install is compiled from source code, right? Which lets you configure it specifically for your hardware, for the programming libraries that you want to have on your system versus the ones you don't want to have on your system. So when it comes to all the other Linux distributions out there, which are binary based, which means like again when you install packages, you're installing pre-compiled binaries that are effectively compiled to run on pretty much any system. Um, in my opinion, like when it comes to binary distributions, you don't care about configuration anymore. Now, that's pretty opinionated. Um, so when I look at, so I run Ubuntu on my laptop. And really the only reason why is because I don't feel like compiling all the software on that laptop every time I need to upgrade. Um, so when it comes to binary distributions, I would probably go with something like Debian or Arch, just because it gives you the ability to install exactly what you want, right? When you're installing like Pop! OS or Linux Mint, um, in order to slim it down, you're gonna have to do a lot of uninstalling of applications. And by default, you usually land with one window manager and one desktop environment, um, which you may not want, right? Cinnamon comes with a ton of packages to create a full-fledged desktop environment. XFCE comes with a ton of different packages to give you a full-fledged desktop environment. And, Mate is basically GNOME or Genome or GNOME, however you want to say it. There's also like SUSE Linux, which I haven't used in freaking ever. Which is, a whole nother suite of packages to create a complete desktop environment using a completely different programming library called Qt and not GTK. Um, maybe, what time is it? Maybe I'll work through like an Arch install next to kind of demonstrate, the difference between installing a Linux distribution that comes with a user interface out of the box versus something like Arch or Debian that comes with basically nothing. And, you set it up the way you want out the gate. Um, Installation is a whole lot slower and it's a lot more manual. But, yeah, those are my thoughts on that, I guess. I haven't seen Debian in forever either. Maybe I'll install Debian Let's go ahead and download it, shall we? Boom. Got Debian downloading here. Yeah. But Mint is freaking cool. If I wasn't recommending uh, Ubuntu, I'd probably be recommending Mint. Mint is great. And I'll be honest, like Mint is Ubuntu with cinnamon instead of Ubuntu's version of Genome. And like the user interface is super familiar for people who are used to like Windows. So, you know, if you're used to Windows, Mint is like just a natural progression into Linux. But this thing is moving a whole lot faster with 4 CPUs. Boom. There we go. And we're in. Gorgeous. Gorgeous. Terminal. Beautiful. Beautiful. All right, we'll shut this down and let's do Arch next. We'll do Arch next. So, let me pivot back over to and you know, to be clear, so I said Mint is based on Ubuntu. Wolf says yes, there's also a pure Debian version of Linux Mint. I should be clear, Ubuntu is also based on Debian, right? So if you're wondering, there's an infograph for this Linux distro history timeline infograph. Yeah, this thing. I think it's here. It is. Yeah, this thing's intense. Okay. If you ever wondered how many Linux distributions there has ever been in existence, it's a shit ton. um, but what do I want to call it? Let's look for Mint. Where's Mint? Oh man, I'm like, where's Linux Mint? Am I seeing it? There it is. Okay, so Linux Mint Debian Edition. I gotta zoom in a little bit. Linux Mint Debian Edition. Let's look for, that's Peppermint. Here's Linux Mint. Okay, so this green line goes up to Ubuntu. Okay, so look how many distributions have been built on top of Ubuntu. Now, if you follow Ubuntu, it's going to go up to Debian. Right? Boom. Debian. Okay, so many Linux distributions have been based on Debian. Okay. Now, if I were to try, let's do Arch. That's Arch Linux ARM, Arch Linux 32, Arch Merge, Arch Labs, Black Arch, Sin Arch, Poly Arch, Arch Bang, Linux Arch ARM, Arch Linux. Okay, so they kind of started from scratch, right? So you can see where Arch Linux comes from. And it looks like it was created around the same time as Gentoo, which is pretty cool. Like seeing that. But you can see where Gentoo came from, right? Came from Enoch. And there's actually like a lot of distributions that people don't realize have been based on Gentoo, right? You have Chromium. OS over here. System Rescue CD. Uh, Sabian or Sabayon, however you want to pronounce that, right? A security operating system, container Linux. Um, all these distributions have been based on Gentoo. Now, before Arch became super popular, you had, looks like System Rescue CD also has like an Arch Rev. You had something called Slackware, which we saw all the way at the top. So back when I started using Linux, um, a lot of the Uber geeks were either using Gentoo or Slackware. And Slackware, I don't think it's really well developed anymore. There might still be some Slackware users out there, but that was kind of like if you're either using Gentoo or Arch. Nowadays, I think uh, the Uber geeks are probably using Gentoo or Arch. So this is a pretty crazy infograph if you want to go like all the way back to the beginning. Um, Slackware, Debian, what else has been around for freaking ever? Red Hat. Red Hat's been around for forever. Fedora is based off of Red Hat. Jurix, never even heard of that. Yeah, Caldera. Oh my gosh. First distribution I ever tried was Caldera, and I got laughed off the IRC channels. But we got Debian. Let's try installing Arch. Let's check it on Claude real quick. Yeah, there we go. Alright, it's working through phase 3. We'll let that cook. I'll set up the Arch install, shall we? Let's do a new VM. We'll do Arch Linux. This is 2026. Arch Linux. We'll give it 4 CPUs and 4096 gigs of bits of RAM. Create a new disk. And yeah, finish. Alright. Choose volume. Forward. Customize. We gotta give it a UEFI. What is it? UEFI? Yeah, UEFI BIOS. Apply. Begin installation. Alright. So we'll bring this up. This is gonna be a bit rough. This is a terminal install, y'all. So there won't be any graphics with this install. There we go. And it's probably gonna steal my mouse at least twice during this install here. But we'll give it a shot. And if you don't know how Linux works, this could be incredibly painful. So, the good news is the Arch wiki is absolutely amazing. So if you've never installed Arch before, you're gonna find yourself at the wiki, because the operating system loads up just like this. Let's see here, and then it drops you into a terminal, and that's it. That's where you land. Now you're expected to know what to do from here, but have no fear. All you gotta do is type in, I think it's setup, no, arch install. I think that's it. I think that's the command. Let me double check this. uh, Installation guide. No, we even skipped a step. So let's quit. Control quit? Yeah, we skipped a set. So first we need to load the keyboard, which is load keys. We're going to do US. And then we got to check the network, make sure the network's working. Yep, network's working. We got to partition our disks. So, dev v, I think it's VDA. Yeah. So we gotta create our own partitions here. So new primary partition 1. This is gonna be the boot partition. And they recommend 1 gig. So first sector of the drive plus 1 gigabyte. And then we need a new partition to be swap. Partition 2, starting sector, we're going to do plus 4 gigabytes. New primary, and then we'll do the root partition. So we'll do the entire disk for the rest of that. So you see, we're manually configuring the partitions here on our disk. So if you don't know how to do this, this is going to be a pain in the butt. But read the guide, read the wiki. I'll add the Gen 2 walkthrough is much easier actually, in my opinion. It takes longer, but it's the documentation on installing Gen 2 is way better than the documentation on installing Arch. That's just my personal opinion. So now we need to create the file systems on these partitions. ext4 VDA 3, that's going to be the root partition, and then we want to make swap on the swap partition, and then we gotta use 32 fat on the boot partition. There we go. And then we mount the root partition at mount. And then we mount the boot partition. I think, yeah, I'm reading the guide on the left here. We mount make directory dev vda1 mount boot, and then we swap on, turn on the swap dev vda2. And actually, I did this wrong. We gotta change our partition types. Yeah, so type 1 is going to be, I think it's EF, and then type 2 is going to be Linux swap, which is where is that? Where is the Linux swap? 82. 82. And then print. Alright, let's write. And let's do these commands again. So, oh man, alright, so mount, boot, mount, alright. Yes. Yes. And then make swap for dev svda 2. Oh, swap off dev PDA2. Now we can make the swap. Okay. Now we mount and mount the boot and turn swap on. Yeah, already messing this up. Already messing this up. Let's see here. Yeesh. Yeah, it's a beast, guys. It's a beast. We're gonna get through it though. We're gonna get through it. Let's go back to here. All right, so that's right. That's right. We do pack strap to bootstrap our file system here with base Linux firmware, and then I also add Nano, a really simple text editor. And so it's basically installing the base system onto our hard drive now. This is like that copy step you see in the other installers, effectively. Configuring, extracting, yada yada yada. Boom, boom, boom. Alright. Alright, everything's installed. Now we need to gen fs tab, mount etc fs tab. Cool. Now we change root into our new file system, arc root mount. We set the local time. So what is this? ls user share zone info America. What's in America here? Can we use Chicago? Yeah. So ln sf user share zone info America Chicago etc local time. Set the hardware clock sys to c and localization. So we do a locale gen and we need to etc locale.conf and say language. Wait, is that the right file? Yeah. Language equals en us.utf-8 and etc v console. No, we don't have that file yet. And we're going to set our key map to US. Yep. And then we'll call our host here arc 0. And now we make init cpio, make the init ramfs. We set a root password. Boom, password updated. And now we got to set up a bootloader. So this is another document. And if you skip this step, you're screwed. So don't skip this step. And we gotta install. So pacman s grub and EFI boot manager. Yes, install that. Cool. Now we grub install target equals an EFI system. So x86 64 EFI directory equals / boot. If I could spell. And bootloader ID equals grub. Installing grub into the master boot record. And then we also have to, we're not going to do secure boot. We're not doing a BIOS system. We're going to do configuration. So this is pretty simple. Just grub make config output for boot grub dot cfg. Boom. Alright, so that's grub. And now we just exit and reboot. And we should reboot into Arch Linux. Arch Linux is effectively installed. So here it is. We're booting. So the install's like not that bad, actually. It's pretty quick if you know what you're doing. Obviously, I've done this a few times. If you don't know what you're doing, that'll take you forever. But what you'll also notice is this thing is not configured at all to do anything. Like I can ping google.com. The networking's not even set up, right? So if I do IP address show, I have a network interface card that's down right now, right? So I gotta set up networking. So using the Arch Linux wiki here, I'm gonna go to networking configuration, and the easiest way to set this up is to use Network Manager. So let's go to Network Managers. We want to use Network Manager. And so what I'm going to do actually is just pacman, but I have no internet, so I can't download Network Manager, right? So I got to get internet working first. Now thankfully it recognized my network interface card here. So what I need to do is actually configure that network interface. And I'm using the Arch Linux wiki to like remind me of all these commands. So I know that this is a virtual machine on a virtual network, so I'm going to do IP address add. We're going to give it 192.168.122.24/24 is the network mask. Broadcast will automatically discover, and the device interface is ENP1 as 0, which you can see, if I could spell, ENP, which you can see in the output above right there. So we'll hit enter there. Cool. And then if I do IP address show, I have an IP address now, right? What I need to do is also set a default route so we know how to get to the internet, like what computer are we going through to get to the internet. And that's going to be 192.168.122.1. So IP route add. If I just do IP route show, I have no IP routes, right? So how do we get to the internet? We're going to do an add route default. So default route via the address 192.168.122.1, And the device we'll use is ENP1S0. Oh wait, I need a IP route, add default via, oh, that's not a valid IP address. Invalid gateway. IP route add default via. See, now I'm confused. Why is that not a valid gateway? IP route add default via 192.168.122.1 dev enp1 s0. Yeah, invalid gateway. All right. Let me double check my IP address here. That's the right IP address. Next hop has invalid gateway. Oh, you know what I need to do? IP. I need to bring the interface up. That's the problem. The interface is down, so it's like I can't go that way. IP command to bring up interface. Yeah, okay, so let's bring the interface up. IP link set enp1 as 0 up. Now when I do IP address show, you can see it's up, and IP route show. Okay, so I have a route, I can access that network, and now that I can access that network, I can add the default gateway, and I do IP route show. I have two routes with a default gateway. Cool. Last thing I need to do, I can ping my gateway 192.168.1.22.1. I can ping the gateway. What I can't do, I don't believe, is resolve domain names. Yes, I can't resolve domain names. So nano resolve.conf. I need to add a name server here. 192.168.122.1. Exit. I should be able to ping Google. I can ping Google on. Now that I can ping Google, I can install my network manager. So I don't have to do this ever again. I think this is fun. Do you guys think this is fun? Everybody wants to do this shit, right? All right. So network manager is in. I need to enable network manager. Network manager does not exist. Let's try network manager. Network. Well, let's go back to the docs here. Where's network managers? Network manager. Da 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 da. Yes. Okay. So system control. Enable network manager. There we go. Control start network manager. Boom. Now, if I reboot, I should have internet at the beginning. I should come in here, it should boot Arch, I should be able to log in and have internet. Let's test it. Boom. Alright, I'm in. Root. I'm in. Ping google.com. Boom. We have internet. Thank you, Network Manager, for setting up internet. Another thing I'll want to do is create a user. So I'll do user add -m to give them a home directory group. We'll add them to users and wheel. We'll set the shell to bin bash, and we'll call this user Matt. Cool. We'll give Matt a password. Password updated successfully. Now I can exit, and I can log in as Matt with my password. Boom. Now I'm in his mat. I can ping Google. Still have internet. What I can't do is sudo ls. Sudo. That command is not found. So I can't, execute privileged commands. So I'm going to log back in as root, put in my password, and I'm going to pacman s sudo. Yep. Install sudo. Now I want to, let's see, sudoers. So the wheel group can actually use sudo because I have Matt in the wheel group. Cool. Now I can exit. Now I can log in as Matt. That is the wrong password. Let's log in as Matt. Now I'm in as Matt. Now I can sudo ls. It'll ask me for my password. And that works. Cool. What's next? We probably want a desktop environment, right? Now, the beautiful thing about Arch is now I get to pick. I don't have to uninstall anything I didn't want. I can pick my desktop manager, right? I probably also want what's called a display manager, which effectively gives me a graphical user interface for logging in, right? Beautiful. We want that. That sounds cool. So what I'm actually going to install is cinnamon. So sudo pacman s cinnamon. It's going to ask me what repository I want to use for the TTF font. I'll use the first one here, and I'll install cinnamon. Boom, 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 boom. 296 packages just for cinnamon. Rebuilding font cache. Heck yeah, guys, we're like 30 minutes into Arch right now. Not terrible. Not terrible. If you ever installed Windows 95, this is a breeze. I'm joking. All right. Boom. All right, Cinnamon is installed. Now, how do I use Cinnamon? I'm gonna cheat. I'm gonna use a display manager. So I'm gonna install a display manager that I know called SDDM. So we're gonna install SDDM. Boom, SDDM's installed. Now I can start SDDM here, but to demonstrate how it works out of the box, I'm going to enable, let's do sudo enable SDDM. Boom, SDDM's enabled. Now I can reboot, and the next time I boot into my system, SDDM is enabled, and Cinnamon, the desktop environment, is installed. So it's going to ask me to log in through SDDM, which is a display manager. Here it is. Boom. Are you guys seeing this? Yes. Yes, you are. So this is SDDM out of the box. Doesn't look that great, right? But there's only one user installed here. There's only one desktop environment. So we got Cinnamon on Wayland. We'll go with that one. And I'll log in. That failed. Oh. And it'll start Cinnamon for me. Here it is. Here's Cinnamon. Beautiful, right? Except I don't really have any applications installed except the standard Cinnamon ones. This does not even include a terminal. There is no terminal installed yet. I have to install my own terminal. So how do I get out of here back to the terminal? Well, we're going to send a key called Control-Alt-F2. That didn't work. Let's send Control-Alt-F1. That's back to Cinnamon. Let's do Control-F3. Boom. So, login as Matt. And let's install Kitty. This is the terminal that I use on my desktop. And I can exit this to log out, and I can send the key to get back into Cinnamon here. And now I can type Kitty, or I can type terminal, and it finds Kitty. Boom. Now we're in Kitty. There you go. We have Arch Linux installed. Ta-da! So obviously it comes with Network Manager out of the box. You guys have all the options in the world to configure this. There's let's see here. Configuration. Yeah. So there's a package for configuring SDDM. Let's try sudo pacman install SDDM conf git. Nope, that doesn't exist. Let's try KCM. There we go. Boom. So we just installed a utility for configuring SDDM. I can probably... No, it doesn't see it. So we're going to do SDDM-K. SDDM theme installer. There we go. Oh, man. Nope. Doesn't like that thing. Is it KCM? No. I don't know. I'm lost. Supposedly that was going to help me configure SDDM, but I use Claude to configure it. I'll just admit that outright. But anyways, that's Arch Linux, y'all. Arch Linux installed with a GUI in less than 35 minutes. Not that bad. You gotta know what you're doing though, or you could royally get stuck down a rabbit hole. So we're gonna shut that down. But boom. All right. Hope you guys enjoyed that. Getting back to our dashboard over here, it says phase 3 landed. Alright, let's restart the server. Let's audit the phase 3 work and make sure everything was covered and working. Cool. Nice. Now, when we go to our dashboard, which we should see here, and we refresh, boom, except and we got some fancy scrollers here. Interesting. Now, that's not bad. I don't mind that. That's interesting. Okay. It didn't load properly initially. I kinda don't like these. You know what I'll do? I'll compile this app so it's a whole lot faster, and then we'll see. Then we'll see how it runs. Build. Claude is auditing in the background. Boom. Alright, well the dashboard built, so let's start it. Alright. Everything checks out in the audit. Good. Good to see. Boom. Alright, hard refresh. Much faster. This default is not working though. Yeah, that default's not working. I don't really like those sliders, honestly. Honestly, I really don't like those sliders. I don't like them anywhere. I don't like them anywhere. Yeah, let's get rid of those sliders. They don't work. Sliders don't work. Christopher, did you see I increased the minimum on the y-axis here? Okay, the chart timeline sliders we added aren't working very well. Let's just remove them. Quai, supply story, and Quai mining versus soap burn. Since soap. Yeah, I don't like those. I don't like them at all. No dice. Yeah, well, let's get rid of those. Those aren't ideal. Those aren't ideal. Yeah, let's refresh this. Actually, we gotta rebuild after this fix. Come on. There we go. All right. Build. Oh man, our music just wigged out on us. What are we listening to? What are you doing, cat? Go crazy. All right. Let's see here. We got a little bit of time remaining. Let's run dev, and let's get back over here. Refresh this bad boy. Bring this up for y'all so you can see it. That's better. That's better. All right. Cool beans. Let's look at this mining page real quick. This is cool, except on the 1 year timeline, the hash rate and difficulty charts break. And the uncled ratio chart is broken. Let's start with fixing these, shall we? All right. Cool. Let's look at the mining page. First, when we select 1 year or all filter, the hash rate and difficulty charts show no data. Let's get that fixed. Oh, shoot. Oh, I'll be right back, folks. I gotta set up some meat for dinner. Everything's frozen. Totally spaced that. We got some nice fillets here. We'll go with these. Dang. Dang. Totally spaced. Totally spaced. We're gonna sous vide these bad boys. It's gonna take a while though. Usually start this way ahead of time. Ah! Alright, we'll let that run for a minute. Cat's like, where the heck did you go? Alright. Both charts now map missing pre-soap to null instead of 0. Do they? Do they? Dude, I don't know if it was what I was buying, but the steaks seemed a little cheaper than they normally are these days. Hash rate per algorithm. Okay, I see what's going on here. They're missing kapow. Alright, let's let Claude know. I see what's happening. You're missing progpow actually on those charts prior to and shortly after soap. So, anywho, like I said, I'm not using VS Code anymore. When I need to read the code, I'm using NeoVim. But honestly, for this project, we're not even doing that. So, we'll just let Claude cook on its own. Oh, we're missing progpow data on the back end. Oh, excuse me. How are we getting this data for the workshare information in the top chart on the mining page? Oh, that's exactly what I did, Christopher. I got some large cuts of prime fillet, and I cut it into 3. They actually sell it at HEB now. I can't find like the little pre-cut fillets. I gotta get like the big one. So we got like a big top sirloin cut. Oh, and divided two of them into three. It's definitely legit. Ugh. I think HEB, at least out in Maine, just totally pivoted to only selling the large cuts. Oh my gosh. Okay, so it looks like we're missing data right now on the indexer for these charts. Okay. Okay, that's interesting. Well, we'll work on that. Um, we'll leave that be for now. Let's double check this uncled ratio chart here. Oh, jeez, uncled ratio chart here. Okay, defer for now. Good to know. Let's look at the uncle chart. Um, the ratio is interesting. Um, I think I'd rather see overall network uncles or percentage by algorithm. What's available and what data uh, would be most relevant for miners? Um, for miners, remember most miners have most miners focus on one algorithm, Kapow, SHA, or script. Let's see what Claude thinks. This dashboard's looking pretty good though, if I may say so myself. I wonder at this point if we have enough data to show Quai emitted by algo. As soon as I open the door, the dogs are in here snoring, of course. Okay, so let's see. Are you guys seeing this? This is what Claude is reporting right now. What miners actually care about? A SHA or script miner's economic question is, of my work shares, what fraction pays me? The current chart answers it as what fraction is uncled. Same data, framed as bad news. Inverting to retention is more actionable. A Kapow miner has no uncled metric to watch. They always retain 100%. The relevant chart for them is work share already on top. Reframe to work shares reward retention. Same two series inverted. Add Kapow as a flat 100% reference line. Let's try creating a net new chart showing number 1, and I'll go get feedback from actual users. Let's do that. Let's do that. Hmm. Yeah, I don't like either of these charts. Honestly, these don't tell us anything. Neither of these charts are helpful. Okay, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm just gonna nuke a bunch of charts here. Let's yeah, let's nuke a bunch of these charts. Actually, the data doesn't tell us anything right now. Let's nuke the following charts. Workshare, retention, reward retention, uncled ratio, and per algorithm difficulty. Yeah, we'll nuke all those. Cool. Cool. Now I want to explore. Cool. Now I want to explore showing Quai rewarded per algorithm. What's interesting is that SHA and Script only get paid via workshare rewards, but Kapow gets paid via work shares and block rewards. Do we have the data we need to show rewards per algorithm? Let's find out. Oh man, was there another hack? Oh my gosh. The hits just keep coming. Is this happening live right now? Yep. Yep. Ongoing exploit on sweat economy on near protocol. 65% of sweat extracted. Oh, that was quick. We have temporarily closed the sweat smart contracts from public view. How is that even possible? How is this even possible? Interesting. Alright, let's see what Claude says about our token rewards. Yes, all the data is already there in the roll-up columns. No schema changes needed. Kapow, base block reward sum plus workshare reward average plus workshare kapow sum times winner Quai count. Double check the math to make sure we're showing the most accurate view of Quai rewards per algo. And let's go with number one stacked area, like the work share percentage chart. Same size, just below work share percentage. Nice. This is a good chart to wrap it up with. Let's see how this looks. Math confirmed. So we're sitting at 30% of our context right now. Cooking real fast. Everything's running along. Telling you guys, if you're using Claude, use the terminal. Okay. Alright, we got a new chart here. Let's check it out. Let's check it out. So, let's do a hard refresh. Let's also restart the server. Cool. So this is 90 days. If I go to 1 year, we go back here. This does not go back all the way. And then if I hit all time, we also don't go back all the way. Okay, the range filters aren't exactly working properly. Let's go to 3. Okay, looks good. However, I noticed the range filters are applying differently to different charts. Both 1 year and all don't show the same timelines across all charts. We'll get that fixed. And then we'll probably wrap it up, folks. It's been a good one. It's been a good one. We're back. We're cooking. We got maximum tokage efficiency here in Claude on the command line. We got new dashboards coming out that the community's been asking for. And we're booting up some virtual machines for some even cooler stuff in the near future. So keep your eyes peeled for that. All right. Cooking. Come on. Done. Rock and roll. Let's restart the server and peek the dashboard. Cool. 90 days. February, 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 February. Cool, cool. 1 year. May 7th. May 7th. May 7th, May 7th. Yep. And all time. Okay. Is that expected behavior? Because 1 year is filling in zeros. But all time only starts when data is available. Okay. We'll sit on that. We'll call it good for now. It's been a day. Let's make sure this compiles. npm run build. Boom. Alright, it works. Major UI tweaks. Push. Alright. That is up. Let's check something here. CD mount server nginx machine 2 git pull build. Sudo rc service Quai emissions db stop start. There we go. All right. Boom. All right, folks. I think we're gonna wrap it up here. We got let's start it back up. npm run start. Major rev on the dashboard complete. Looking good. Looking good. I like it. I like it. Good feedback, Christopher. Really appreciate it earlier today. And also the ambassadors who hooked us up with some feedback. Also earlier today. You guys absolutely rock. Really appreciate everybody who swung by today. It's been a good Wednesday. Hope to see you guys again real soon. We are back in live streaming pretty much every day now, Monday through Friday. We might skip out on Thursday, but who knows? If you're hanging out in the Discord, we definitely have some things cooking for y'all. So make sure you hop into the Quai Network Discord server. As always, if you want to earn some Quai, make sure you're signed up for Kipper.money. Check the QR code up on this live stream. We're handing out Quai every day to folks who say hi here in chat. You got to have an X account though. That's what we do. We tip tweets. Show you how that's done real quick. All I got to do is like this tweet here and they get tipped some Quai. So it's that easy, folks. Peer-to-peer payments right here on X. All you got to do is go get signed up for Kipper.money. We're handing out Quai pretty much every day around here. So keep your eyes peeled. We'll be back handing out more Quai real soon. And yeah, if you're looking to get your hands on some Quai, we are now traded on Kraken, Blowfin, Orbit, Mexi, Gate.io. You can swap those useless tokens for more useful ones at SwapSpace, Lex Exchange, and Change Hero. Make sure you check out the new mobile app, Blip. It's absolutely amazing. There's a lot of content being published right now because that just dropped. But if you got some useless tokens over on Base, we are actually bridged to Base now thanks to Symbiosis. So appreciate Symbiosis for making that happen. Check the docs for the official links and contract addresses. Don't get scammed. Have an amazing evening, everyone, and we'll see you soon. With that, folks, peace out.